Mary had a little lamb.
We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon.
I have a dream today.
Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Well, first, Laura, let's laugh at the fact that Kamala Harris is promising to do something if the American people give her promotion that she hasn't been doing for the past 3.5 years as vice president. This is the lie at the heart of Kamala Harris's campaign, that if you elect her, she's somehow going to be different than she already has been in office, where her policies have caused higher grocery prices, higher food prices, and, of course, a wide open southern border. So we have to say that if Kamala Harris thinks these policies are going to do a lot of good, and, of course, most of them are nonsensical, but if she thinks they're going to do a lot of good, she should try them out now because she's currently in power, not promise to do something when she's in office in the future that she's not doing when she's in the office in the present.
Okay, so this is the lie that J.D. Vance, this is the heart of the lie that J.D. Vance has been deployed to repeat, right? That Kamala Harris somehow has the ability to pass laws, right? Kamala Harris somehow has the ability to spend money. Kamala Harris somehow has the ability to pass a border control package that was negotiated between the Republicans and the Democrats in the Senate, where J.D. Vance is actually, a member. And that Donald Trump called them up and said, do not pass this border protection piece of legislation that happens maybe once in a lifetime. And it happened under Kamala Harris. It happened under Joe Biden. That you had James Lankford from Oklahoma working with Chris Murphy and Kirsten Sinema from Arizona, all together, an independent, a Democrat, and a Republican, to craft a piece of legislation that would have secured the border. And J.D. Vance and his guy who wants to be president again after he did nothing except tariffs that cost 175,000 manufacturing jobs to go bye-bye in this country. J.D. Vance is saying somehow Kamala Harris, as vice president of the United States, has the power to do It's a freaking joke. And, people are repeating it to me now. I swear to God, they're saying that to me. Well, why didn't she do all of these things as vice president? Well, for starters, as part of an administration, and I think we understand the vice president is there to perform 2 specific duties. Well, actually 3. Okay, I'll give her 3. 1, support the president's policies, work the Senate, work the House, build consensus so that the president's priorities can actually get their day in court. And by court, I mean the Senate and the House, right? She did do that. She worked really hard to do that. And guess what we got out of that? We got the American Rescue Plan. We got the child tax credit. We got the Butch-Lewis Act that protected over 1 million working people's pensions, right? We got the Inflation Reduction Act, which actually reduced inflation. Who knew? Okay. We got the Chips and Science Act, which actually started to build factories, manufacturing plants in places that haven't seen anything at all happen for their communities. Places like Kentucky. I mean, this is why Andy Beshear is like beside himself with joy and glee. And this is why he got reelected as a Democrat in Kentucky, because business investment in that state ratcheted up to a level that nobody ever dreamed was possible under Biden and Harris. And when I include Harris, it's because she did that one very important part of her job, which was to work the House and the Senate to build consensus. The other part of her job is to break ties. She broke a tie in the Senate for the Inflation Reduction Act. She actually went there and cast the deciding vote. And the other duty that a vice president performs is to be ready to be president if, God forbid, poo-poo, something happens to the president. That's it. That's what the vice president's job is. And she did it magnificently. And that's why we got the kind of legislation that nobody thought we could get with a divided Congress. That's why we got a child tax credit. You know, that child tax credit, when it was raised to $3,600, right? And that made all the difference in the world for people who were, just flirting with poverty. Their children were just flirting with, being fed at school and no other place. And half of the children that live in that condition were brought out of that condition because of the child tax credit. And guess what? The Republicans repealed it. They ended it. They wouldn't extend it. They let it sunset. They let it end. Just like the assault weapons ban, okay? They let that end too. We had 10 years of no assault weapons. We had 10 years of no school shootings. And then right around the time it was about to expire, it started again. It started again. So let me tell you something. This is why I keep on emphasizing to you that you need to not let this be close as far as if you're in a swing state, if you're in Wisconsin, if you're in Michigan, if you're in Arizona, if you're in Nevada, especially Pennsylvania, obviously North Carolina, you don't have a Senate race there, but you do have a governor's race. And the guy that's asking to be your governor is a serious extremist, okay? He's just backcrap nuts. He thinks he knows the will of God. He knows what God wants, and he's going to bring it upon ye, whether you want it or not. I mean, and plus, his reputation is soiled. The guy has declared bankruptcy 3 times. He ran a child daycare center that failed like every inspection it ever had. You're talking about children now, okay? Failed like every inspection it ever had. And now it turns out there's a rumor. I'm not going to say that this really happened because it's a very tertiary, and for those of you who don't understand that word, it's not a primary. It's not a secondary. It's a tertiary news source, okay? It's called The Assembly, I think. And it has a report in there from a guy who made a video that I will never unsee. I am so sorry that I watch all the crap I watch for you and that I take it for you. People are like, what did you do for me? I watched this freaking video. So apparently Mark Robinson, the lieutenant governor of, the great state of North Carolina, how this happened, I have no earthly idea, okay? But apparently, you vote for voted for Roy Cooper and for this douche. Apparently he had a little problem with porn. I'm shocked. I tell you. And his little porn habit actually deteriorated to the point where there was a guy who ran a bunch of, dirty movie stores, dirty bookstores, whatever you want to call them. I don't care what you call them. Sex shops. Yeah, I guess that's the way. And he said that Mark Robinson would come into his sex shop in Greensboro every single day of the week, because they had this deal there where you could buy a movie for $50 or you could preview the movie and sit in one of these, little rooms and, have your way with yourself for $8.
That was very diplomatic.
I don't
Nicely
know
done.
how else to say it, really. I mean, just touch yourself and watch a movie for $8. And he was so grateful with that offer that not only did he do it every single day and sometimes 2 movies for a grand total of $16, but he was so happy with this arrangement that he would bring pizza. Doubles as lube. I don't know. It's disgusting, this story. It's really ugly. And so the owner of the store was also known for making bootleg tapes. Like he would record what he had on a separate VCR. Swear to God. And he would sell them, the bootleg tapes. He would sell them for $25. And he wrote this really bad, like so bad, like sucks so hard song, heavy metal, with tattooed, guys with, not just sleeves, but neckwear, the whole thing. Saying that the lieutenant governor owes me money. That's the theme of the song. The governor owes me money. And I watched the stupid video, and I can't unsee it now, and I'm very, very unhappy about it. I would rather watch 2 porn movies every day, 5 days a week, than I would to see this video that I saw for 3 minutes. That's how offensive it was, okay? But this is the guy that, says he knows what Jesus wants. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.